failed to take out. I thought I took him out, but I took out the wrong infantry guy. And then... what else? Oh, then I went and got a third hind. And... what happened with the... no, no. No, maybe I just got two. No, I just got two. Okay. Never mind. The third one I was thinking of was actually the Russian helicopter that I used. So no, it just went through two hinds. No, you're fine with getting the hind. There's nothing wrong with that helicopter. It's perfectly in reach. There's nothing that dictates that you cannot get it. It has limited availability, for sure. So it's one of the rarer helicopters. It's harder to get. And what makes it so good is it's completely immune to bullets. It only takes damage from collisions. And yeah, Kyoji pretty much summed it up. It only takes damage from collisions and explosions, and it can take a lot of explosive hits before it blows up. And it has a massive payload. It has tons of missiles and just tons of firepower. Oh, and the other big thing is that it's a North Korean faction helicopter, so you get disguised as North Korean, and they will then not shoot at you, which becomes really important for a lot of the game, just being able to fly places, being unharassed. So that's what makes it so good. And yeah, there's plenty of places to get it. Well, not plenty of places. There's a few places you can get it. Some are really easily and readily available, and some are really difficult to get to. So. There's a few different places I get it. The first time I get it is... oh, and it only shows up on the second map. I don't think it shows up on the first map at all. And the way I get it the first time is that it spawns next to one of the high-value targets, so it spawns next to one of the bounties, one of the cards. And it's really close to the Allied MASH spawn, so it's really close to where you spawn on the second map. So it's just a skip away from where I spawn to being able to collect the bounty and get the helicopter. And then you can, for the most part, it spawns near bounties. I don't really know that it spawns outside of where the bounties spawn, which means when you collect the bounty, it's not going to spawn there anymore, so you really only have one chance at getting them. So if you collect the bounty, you can't go back to the same spot to get it. And it spawns at a few of the bounties on the second map for the hearts and for the spades. So that's how you get it, and then you really have to hold on to it, because like I said, if you lose it, it doesn't spawn much outside of the bounty areas. And obviously I'm collecting the bounties as I go, so I can't revisit those for helicopter spawns. The very first Ace contract, I don't get a helicopter, because that one is slower to get a helicopter, because it's a really small island and it's covered in anti-air. So it's a huge hassle to navigate a helicopter around there, and it's a lot faster to just zoom around in a Jeep. And also the insertion helicopter, that's the only one that you can't get reliably, because it flies right off into the ocean as soon as it drops you off. And I mess with this a lot with save states. It's possible to get it, but you have to get good RNG, and you have to get it on your first shot. So it's really not worth it. And then you have to deal with anti-air on top of that. So it's not worth it to get any helicopter in the first Ace mission. For all the other Ace missions, it's totally fine. You can get them.
He has the codes. The launch codes?
I don't know why they put so... it's funny, I don't know why they put so much anti-air in the first mission, and because the other Ace contracts don't really have any anti-air. Well, this one does, but this one I cheated out by flying over it. But yeah, two of the Ace contract missions don't have any anti-air, and I don't know why. This one makes sense because you do actually have the option of getting helicopters somewhat in this mission, but in the first mission there's no real way you're supposed to get a helicopter, and yet it puts a bunch of anti-air in there, so... Alright, this will be interesting.
I've sent the codes to your PDA and marked Song's location on your radar.
Enemy.
options are back online.
Oh, I just noticed, I think this Ace Contract theme is like a heavier version of the main theme. Yeah, it is. It's like a slower, more dramatic version of the main theme. That's kind of cool. Well, okay, so Melee, to be fair to the people who developed this game and being able to fly over the anti-air, you're not supposed to have a helicopter in this mission. The only way you can actually get a helicopter in this mission, like if you're not doing what I do, is to...
Now, that code Kim gave us can still disable the warheads, but you need to enter it before they get out of range.
Oh gosh, sorry, I'm like really focused here. To be fair, the only other way you can get this, to get a helicopter in this mission, is to hijack one, and that happens about halfway through the mission, and it's actually really hard to do. So, just the whole sniping friendly helicopters is the major thing that's really not intended.
You did it! You stopped the missiles!
And flying over anti-air, it's not, this is really the only place in the game where it's viable, because everywhere else they put anti-air around all of the sort of targets of interest, so you don't even have that option outside of this.
Code options are back online.
And let's go ahead and call that world record. That's world record by like 10 minutes.
Happy to hear about this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not too bad for a day's work.
There was a soft lock. I did pause the timer for a soft lock, but I just picked up right where I left off. And it shouldn't have affected anything, so I'm just going to call that clean. Ah! Congratulations, me. Also, your time is going down, me. AKA the only person who's ever ran this game before. The person who has this world record by default. The uncontested. Wow. Wow. Ah. Well, let's catch up on the chat if there's any questions. At what point in the game do they intend for you to always have a heli? Anywhere in the overworld, they intend for you to have a helicopter. Not during the Ace contracts. Overworld, absolutely, because there's anti-air in all kinds of troublesome spots, and I have to get around it through some pretty clever means.
Where a crisis of global proportions has been
Also, the
averted.
scrolling text at the
Ladies
bottom
and
of these
gentlemen,
news broadcasts
I
have all kinds of just
confirmation now that
silliness.
the nuclear warheads have detonated harmlessly in the upper atmosphere.
Like all kinds of Star Wars
I repeat,
references, Greedo
the
shot
nuclear
first,
warheads are no
stuff like
longer
that.
a threat.
Okay, what else?
The nuclear fallout will be blown out to sea. But sadly, for the people of North Korea, the fallout from this crisis will continue for years to come. This is Adriana Livingston reporting live for GSRN.
Are we back? Factional violence continues to rock Pyongyang, with little regard for AN authority. With reports that the Russian mafia is now firmly in control, one fears that the worst has not yet passed for the people of North Korea. For GSRN...
And part of the
this is Trial
anti-air, I think, in the Ace contracts is it makes it difficult to get deliveries because the anti-air will shoot down friendly helicopters. Like if you call in a supply drop, if it flies over the anti-air, they'll just shoot it down. But since I'm at the very edge of the map to start off with, I can still get a supply because he flies through the out-of-bounds area. He doesn't fly through the battlefield. Well, thank you too for the little boost of confidence there with the congratulations on the record and such.